11, and 12 say graphing a vertical or horizontal line. When I'm going to get a vertical line always starts x equals, and you just have a number there. You don't have a y value in your equation. When you're going to get a horizontal line, it's always going to start y equals, and you're not going to have an x in your equation. What's really happening is if I make my table and it's telling me that x has to be -1, it means in every single one of my points the x value has to be -1. The y values can be anything that you want. It might be 0, it might be 5, it might be -2. But what ends up happening when you plot those points, -1, 0 would be right there. -1, +5 would be right there. -1, -2 would be right there. Any point that you plot that has an x value of -1 ends up being on a vertical line touching the x-axis at -1. So my line just goes straight up and down through the -1 if I could draw straight. If I have an equation like y equals 3, it's telling me that for every point on that graph, the y value always has to equal 3. The x values can be anything you want them to be. Might be 0, might be 5, might be -2. Hey. So 0, 3 means 0 over up 3. 5, 3, 5 over up 3. -2, 3. 2 to the left and up 3. Notice what happens is you end up with a horizontal line that touches the y-axis at 3, right? Just go straight across right through there. So, if you look at that and you recognize that I have y equals 8, I know that y equals a number always has to end up being what kind of line? Horizontal. I also know where my y-axis equals 8, or my y value of 8 is. It's right there, way up towards the top, right? Since I know it has to be a horizontal line, instead of making a table and plotting a whole bunch of points, I can just say, oh, there has to be a point somewhere here and somewhere here that line up straight across, so then I can connect my dots and draw my line. Unless you want to make a table and plot 3 points, it will work. It gives you the same thing. But if you just recognize, oh, that has to be a horizontal line, here's where y is 8. I know it has to go horizontal, so I put a spot to the left and to the right so I can draw a straight line. There's my line. So vertical ones always are x equals, horizontal will be y equals.